collective NBA careers. That's what we're looking at tonight in Houston. Want to guess the only one of you under 500 in Game 6s?
It's probably me.
It is.
Probably.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
You wouldn't have? Who would
Probably
you
me.
say, Jalen? That would have been awkward.
I would say me.
Oh, you know what? You're too nice. NBA.
So what's my record then?
I don't care. NBA postseason history. The team holding the 3-2 series lead has won that series 85% of the time. Last year it was Houston without Chris Paul. They joined that tortured 15% in NBA purgatory. This year, the Warriors are out without Kevin Durant. Very eerie. Here's what you know about the current state of the defending champs. They lost their leading scorer in Kevin Durant late in Game 5. However, they are 29-4 over the last 3 seasons, including playoffs in games that Steph Curry plays, but Durant doesn't, including wins in 26 of their last 27. Here's what got said about all that today.
The mood's good. You know, we're excited about playing tonight.
I didn't wake up today with extra weight on my shoulders or anything. I feel like that every single day.
Luckily, we're a very talented team, so one of us goes out, we can weather the storm.
Does that mean you got to go out and shoot 30, 40 times? It's just playing aggressive and doing what you need to do to help your team win. Just play basketball and have fun doing it.
Information. The Warriors are on the verge of a 5th straight conference finals appearance. That would be tied for the 3rd longest streak by any team since conferences were created in 71. A win tonight would give them a road victory in 21 straight playoff series. That would extend their record for the longest such streak in league history. And the Rockets are a 7-point favorite tonight. They would have been a 1.5-point favorite had KD played. That's how much it changed. Yeah, it's the most points, by the way, that Golden State's ever been an underdog in any playoff game in which Kerr coached. Biggest loss that comes with missing Kevin Durant?
I know for me, obviously the scoring. He's leading the whole playoffs in scoring, but he's not only a scorer now. He affects the other end of the floor, but having that go-to guy, to me, is the biggest loss that you have when he's not playing.
So then if you're on the Rockets side, who do you think benefits the most tonight from the missing KD?
Well, it'd be easy to say P.J. Tucker because he don't have the guy to guard 8 inches taller than him. But I'll say Clint Capella because this weekend's the Golden State Warriors' depth up front. You're taking out a guy that averaged 35 points, and all of a sudden you're going to replace him with Looney and McKinney. I think that gives the guys for the Rockets an opportunity to get going, and Capella could be the beneficiary.
Obviously it's scoring, but I think they have enough scoring between Curry and Clay initiating that. But I think defensively, like Chauncey said, when you put him on Clint Capella and all the switching they do, pick and roll defense, he protects the rim. He's done a great job of limiting the lob plays that they haven't been able to get with Clint and being underneath the basket. So, he gives them size. They haven't played a really big lineup as we've been watching this series. So it takes away from their small ball lineup down the stretch. The way they've been playing this whole series, they've been playing a lot through relying on Kevin Durant. So it'll be interesting to see how they go back to playing how the old Golden State Warriors played from a year or two ago.
So the human side of this is that you look at this Rockets team, they're either going to come out and say, blood in the water, let's take advantage, or they're going to take a step back. So how do you make sure you don't do that tonight?
Well, all they have to do is look at the numbers. And a crazy stat is the Warriors, without KD playing, have played 27 times. They're 26-1. So that's all they have to do is just understand and know the numbers. This team is going to come out, like Paul said, and get back to kind of playing how they used to, even though the depth is different. But, if you're James Harden, you're Chris Paul, this is, to me, your best opportunity that you've ever had.
Yes, this is an opportunity of a lifetime.
They on the clock.
This is the window.
You get a chance.
Right now.
Now, last year, I was one of the people that said Houston would have won had CP3 played.
You are, yep.
Even though Andre Iguodala was out for them as well. Now you get the Warriors without KD in 2 games.
A lot of pressure.
In the conference semifinals, you got to close the deal if you James Harden and CP3 in particular.
That's a lot of pressure coming up. Houston, that is where all the eyes of the basketball world happen to be tonight. It's the only game on the docket, and we find Lisa Salters. Lisa, what do you have for us?
Hey, Michelle. Well, Jalen is right. As you know, Kevin Durant is not playing tonight in Game 6, but Steve Kerr just told us if Houston were to win tonight and to force this to a Game 7 on Sunday, Durant wouldn't play in that game either. That is going to be reevaluated in a week, and the Warriors really don't know when he will be back on the floor. But in talking to Rockets players, they don't believe that Durant's absence will make winning this series any easier for them. In fact, according to P.J. Tucker, exactly the opposite.
Because now they're going to play. They're going to move the ball. They're They're going to cut. They're going to play off the ball. The guys that come in are going to do exactly what they're supposed to do. They're going to offensive rebound. They're going to go for all the hustle plays. They're going to do what we do when James doesn't play or when Chris doesn't play. They're going to play basketball. So it's something that is to be said about going into this game, and it doesn't make it any easier.
And we just talked to Mike D'Antoni as well, and he told us that, of course, without Kevin Durant on the floor, attacking the Warriors will be much different. But he said the key now will be that you cannot let Steph Curry or Klay Thompson get off. We cannot fall asleep on those guys. He said if they have great games, we're in trouble. We have to know where they are at all times on the floor. We can't let Steph, we can't let Klay beat us. Michelle?
Seems simple enough. Lisa, thank you. Enjoy the game. After Durant left in the third quarter of Game 5, Steph immediately looked like Steph of old. We'll call him Old Steph. 16 points on 5 for 9. What version do we get tonight? Kawhi Leonard is a win or be a free agent Game 7 against the Sixers. Does he feel any pressure? Will he even express himself if he does? We'll find out when we come back.
NBA Countdown is presented by Mountain Dew. Do the do.
Scoring output from the regular season since moving back into the starting lineup this series against Houston. This game coming up in mere moments. Well, minutes, really. Gearing up on NBA Countdown. Huge Game 6 tonight on ESPN, but one of the most consequential developments is who isn't playing this weekend. The Milwaukee Bucks finished the Celtics this past Wednesday night.
They've been very generous.
They're
sending Paul Pierce. We got bobbleheads. We got Giannis.
That's nice. Oh, the band.
Thank you so much to my Bucks.
I like to sit here. I apologize to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Nah, dude, you can't.
I was wrong. No. You guys went out there and handled y'all business. And this guy, potentially the MVP, I'm gonna give it up to the Milwaukee Bucks. Y'all proved me wrong, so I'm gonna own it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna own it.
Doesn't feel
right?
You really don't have much of a choice.
Right, you don't have a choice.
By the way,
told you he didn't mean it.
I cannot
got you, Giannis. I got you, Giannis.
If we end up in Milwaukee, I hope everyone
I got you,
shows up
Greek
for that.
Freak. I got you.
I'm staying at a different hotel.
See what I got? I got you, Milltown.
No, I owned it. Come on now.
The whole point of the story was A, you're dead if we have to go to Milwaukee, and B, that they have a whole bunch of time off because they don't start up again until next Wednesday. And the only reason, one of the only reasons, too, is that Philly-Toronto situation. You're going to get us all hurt at some point on the road trip. Last night,
Jimmy Buckets.
Butler, 25-6.
That guy finally showed up.
They get a Game 7. Sunday, by the way, is the best TV day of all time. And then the Raptors have the leading scorer of the series who has an mechanical efficiency.
I'd like to tell you a simple story about robots. The truly autonomous robot has been a vision, a dream of scientists, engineers, and artists for many years. One day, it might be possible to construct a thinking machine that, just as we can move and act in our world. Imagine, just for a moment, what it might be like to look into the eyes of a machine and know that it's looking back at you. It has thoughts, intentions, plans, and maybe one day even desires.
Is Kawhi Leonard a basketball robot?
He's a drone.
His shooting has been out of this world. His expression never changing.
I think he bleeds like antifreeze or something. I'm going to check the rule book and find out if robots are allowed to play in the NBA.
Kawhi Leonard is smiling. He just hasn't told his face yet.
Is it destined to remain science fiction, or is it achievable? I believe that it is achievable. The possibilities at that point really will become almost endless.
We don't know that he's not a robot, technically. Nice. That has not been confirmed or denied. He is the best player, though, on the court in Game 7. What makes him stand out
Believe
so
it or not, he's been, as great as Kawhi has been, he's been the third best player in the playoffs.
Ooh. Who's number 1 and 2?
Nikola, Joker, Greek Freak.
No, sir.
Okay, Chauncey, can you please take over?
As great as he's been. That's how great the league is right now.
Listen.
The individual performance we've had.
There's no way he's the third. Those two other guys obviously deserve some great consideration. Joker been balling.
Balling? What you mean?
He don't do it on both ends like this dude, so stop playing, Paul. I know you want to get buckets
Prisoner of the moment.
and all of that. You know you're a numbers guy, If you're a numbers guy, how you not going with this robot right here?
Hey, men and
iRobot,
women
whatever
lie.
you
The
want to
numbers
call
don't,
this dude.
Chance.
Wait, so what is it that puts him in third and not first for you?
I'm just saying, just the impact that these guys are having. He's having a great impact now, no doubt about it. And this is not a knock on Kawhi. I'm just saying.
No, this is a knock on Kawhi.
No, it's not a knock on Kawhi. As great as he's been playing, he's been the third best player in the playoffs. He's been second.
It's almost like king of the court.
Second.
It's almost like king of the court. We all grew up playing.
I'm saying Jokic is averaging 26,
KD's not in there
12, and 9 assists. Are you
KD's
telling
not
me?
in there nowhere?
KD's fourth.
This dude went out and handled his business and did a gentleman's sweep against your Boston Celtics. So
he's the second best player in the playoffs.
Kawhi Leonard is basically averaging almost 40 against Joel Embiid, Jimmy Butler, and Ben Simmons on the floor.
I'm not saying this is not a. That's a great impact. Joker is giving you 25, 14, and 9.
Joker's balling. Not ahead of Kawhi is all I'm saying.
He's balling.
What about the other end of the floor where the two guys I mentioned virtually guard 5 positions on
He's been
given
shutting down
plays?
Enes Kanter. Shutting them down.
Enes Kanter had 26 in game 1.
Shutting them down.
Oh, my goodness, man. This dude right here.
But that's a big leap for the Joker.
Oh,
really is.
I'm just saying his impact. He's had the #1 impact in the playoffs.
How about that? Joker make 1.6 this season.
The most underpaid player in the league.
It won't be for long.
We will be blessed with a couple of Game 7s. That's the good news, because Philly not the only one who stayed alive. Last night, Dame Lillard, C.J. McCollum, both with 30-point nights out in Portland. And an unusually enormous contribution from Rodney Hood. Career high 25 for him. And they get a Game 7 on Sunday as well against a team that Seth Curry referred to as sassy. Those Denver Nuggets. We have 4 teams, 2 Game 7s. Which of those teams has the best shot at a championship?
First of all, what about Dame? Dame should be on that list too.
Where's he, 4 or 5?
What you gonna say, 12 or 13? But don't worry about it. Please, I'm going with Toronto. I'm going with Toronto.
Okay.
I think out of those 4 teams, they had the best player still in it. I mean, of those 4 Game 7 of the Game 7 teams.
Yeah, okay.
They have the best player. You're gonna say Joker, and that's fine. I can respect that.
Joker, I mean.
But
say it.
I would say Toronto. Their team is really good. I mean, they've wire to wire been really good all season. It's not a surprise, so I'm going Toronto.
Right now, and that's what I got to go by, and that's factoring injuries, I have to take the Denver Nuggets.
To win a title.
Here's
of those 4.
Of those 4. Here's why. They have home court advantage against everybody except the Bucks. They're in the West, and the last time I checked, Kevin Durant is injured.
True.
And they're going to have home court advantage against the Warriors in the next series, and he might miss a couple of those games.
Wait, no, they won't.
No, they won't.
Denver?
Not against
Denver.
the Warriors.
No, not against the Warriors.
Against Houston, if Houston
Against
wins.
Houston's the bottom of that.
Oh, Houston, okay.
Yes, against Houston.
Okay, got it.
But
I'm
I
going to
like
go
what
with
you tried
Denver,
to do.
too. I think they have guard play. They got the best player in the playoffs. They have everything. They have depth, youth, coaching, I think, just all around.
They're in the playoffs. I
They have
can't
the best. I mean, I'm not saying
over KD, over Kawhi.
I didn't say he's the best player. I say he's playing the best.
I think you just
He's
said they have
playing
the
the
best
best.
player in the playoffs.
I meant he's playing the best out of all of them. And he's a first-teamer this year.
Who?
I agree with
That's
that.
fair.
Joker.
I agree with
he's
that.
a first-teamer
You
this
just
year.
argued with me a week ago about putting the first team and putting Embiid second.
Of course he
We
did.
just had this argument.
Of course he did. Look
Doesn't
at him.
remember what he said yesterday.
I got you,
He's
Mil.
a mess.
You talking about behind-the-scenes stuff? I don't remember that.
James Harden.
Nobody remember that.
No, we all remember it. 5 threes away
Paul
from
Pierce
passing
is
the
the
one
best.
and only Paul Pierce, 11th on the all-time
That's what I have to
list.
put up
Glad you in the
Are
Hall
you
of Fame, dog.
He the 5th best. Right there. Right there.
Oh, Harden.
Every day at Marco's, get 2 medium, 1